My name is Jonathan. Most of my friends call me Turtlewolf. You can find me down here at turtlewolf.info. We're going to build a website over the next 25 minutes, and we're not really building it from scratch. We're going to use this Bonfire tool, which is a web template, almost a complete web app. But mainly we're going to get a site started from, don't want to say scratch because this Bonfire is doing a lot of the work, but we'll get a Bon site from 0 to 60 thanks to this engine right here. We have an outline for what I actually want to cover. We'll at least get from unzipping the files to configuring the index, and then if we have time we'll go into a couple of features that could really spice up the site after that. Apart from the outline, it's important to understand where Bonfire stands in the overall landscape of the PHP language. PHP is mainly for server side. You're starting to see a little more JavaScript server side. There's Angular, JS, Ember, a whole plethora popping up every day. Before JavaScript was so easy to access on the server, PHP's kind of been tried and true for the last 20 or 30 years, possibly longer. What they call CRUD apps, create, read, update, delete. It's your basic business apps if you're putting information into and out of a database, updating that information, sometimes deleting that information. PHP is very dynamic. Top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it stands for. Yes, it's not important at the moment. Basically, the guy invented it to make his pages dynamic so that not every page looks the same. So PHP will read information out of the database, customize that information, query for what you're looking for, and then draw the page according to what information you ask the database to give you. But all these are frameworks to make writing the PHP language easier. And a lot of people have left CodeIgniter and migrated to Laravel, which is fine, nothing against Laravel or Cake. But Bonfire, instead of just saying Bonfire is a framework, it's an extension of a framework. There may be other ones, like Laravel may have something similar pop up. If not already, probably somebody working on it and it'll come out in a month or two. But what I've used for my last 7 sites is this Bonfire, which is an extension of CodeIgniter, which a lot of people have lost faith in because it just, I guess, isn't getting support. It's there, it works, it's just not getting updates. But nothing wrong with that. I think in Bonfire 8 they're actually talking about bypassing a lot of that, but everything up to 7's pretty much been based on CodeIgniter. Laravel is not what we're talking about. Cake is not what we're talking about. And don't even really need to exit that part out yet. On the outline, let's start with unzipping. So what are you going to unzip? You want to go to, let's get a browser where you can see it. Got another window over here with all the extra stuff that isn't necessary at first. You want to go to CI Bonfire. At least I like to. Guess if you don't want to, you don't have to. This is all very optional stuff. I'm actually starting to sell this service for $100 now. Not that that's what this video is about. These guys are they're doing it for donations. They're at 653 now. View it on GitHub. Just so you can get the most recent. You could probably get the most recent there too. It's probably coming from the same spot. But here you can see 2 days ago. Okay, so that's where CodeIgniter itself is not getting support. These guys are updating everything as often as they can. 8 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 months ago, 10 months ago. That's all the different parts that go together to make this template. So, full screen, can we? Yeah. We'll just download that to your desktop, and we'll get the one that's from 2 days ago. Not in the desktop. Downloads is fine. Wherever you want to keep it. I really like going to the desktop. Just makes it easier. I'm not going to leave it there forever. And where really when I was learning this, a lot of the demos went to XAMPP or some kind of local server, and then when I tried to install it at my I host at Fat Cow, good service, reasonable rates, and they get their power from wind servers, so it's hard to beat that. But when I tried to go from the tutorials that were all about installing it locally on your XAMPP or whatever, it didn't help me figure out how to get it on my server at FatCal. So just go into the control panel here. I think I'm already logged in. If not, I can do that really quick. Okay, so we're where to start? We need to get what we just uploaded, which is File Manager. Uploaded. We need to get what we just down. If you're using some kind of source control Git, that's fine, but you have to upgrade your FatCal account. It's like $20 a month versus what I'm doing now, which is much more reasonable. Not that $20 isn't reasonable, I just haven't needed that level of source control yet. So what we're doing instead is uploading this file from 2 days ago that is now on our desktop. Bonfire develop. Looks like we got, it says one, I don't know where the other one's at. It's fine, it's just what it named it. It's the most recent one that we got. Let's upload. Excuse me. And uploading, not long. Just but the template's 2.75 megabytes. Okay, now that it's uploaded, we need to unzip that. So we'll go over here to the archive gateway, and this is what really gave me a stress point. It took me about a week to figure this out. I'll admit how much of an amateur I am. I taught myself, well, I found people on the internet to teach me over the last 3 years. Andy Harris, I really recommend. He has the For Dummies books at aharris.net. He writes a lot of homeschooling material, but just stayed focused and got there. So, focus, what are we back on here? Archive gateway. When I tried to do this myself the first time, what I got stuck on for a week, I would unzip it in the root directory and then just try to copy and paste that where I needed it. And moving it around with a copy and paste does not transfer the hidden files that are kind of critical to what you're trying to do. So it's important to unzip it pretty much where you want it. And the one's the new one. That's the old one. We could have deleted it. But this is the one we're going to unzip because it's only 2 days old. And we'll just put it in the root directory output. So extract that. And you can see right here it's cranking away on that. Should just take a few seconds. Error. Please do not use any special characters in the password file. Oh. Yay. Okay. Amateurs at work here. Let's go back to the file manager. This is good. Now if you get stuck on that, you'll know why it's such a big issue. Every video I've ever learned anything from had a really rookie amateur mistake, and you can't plan for those. You just have to not delete them or edit them out later. Could probably rename that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's delete this one. File deleted. In the same place where you can delete files under your file manager at FatCal, you can also rename them. So this one that we just downloaded, the special characters it doesn't like is the parentheses and 1. So we'll just cut those out. Avoid the keyboard every chance I get. Pretty much, we're not thumb programming yet. I am like 98% mouse programming, maybe 90%. 98's a little extreme. So Bonfire develop zip, that should work now. And we can come back over to the archive gateway. Now that it doesn't have any fancy characters, we can unzip that, or extract that zip. It's cranking away. I think I started to say a while ago, this is what I sell for $100 now. I'm not even trying to take on any new customers. I've got my own projects I kind of like to stay busy with. But if I have a friend or someone asking me, hey man, get me a website up, this is what I do for $100, just so you'll know. And if you can build a business on that, have at it. There's plenty of code to go around, plenty for us all to write. So, we just unzipped that, and it is probably better that we go back to File Manager. It wouldn't show up here until we did a refresh, probably. You know, it's not easy to rename here necessarily either. So we'll go back to File Manager, and underneath File Manager, we're already 10 minutes in. We haven't even really got started. When I'm not trying to explain all this, I usually get it out in about 20-25 minutes, but that's fine. This is an educational experience for all of us. Bonfire Develop, let's just rename that to something. I'll probably start it with an A, just so it'll be at the top of our list. You can see I've used that idea a lot. These are all A sites, so we'll just call this one double A to get it at the very top, and we'll call it triple A just because, well, copyright infringement. 4A, how about that? Sounds like a club at school. So this will be the 4A site, and we're cranking away on the rename, and there we are. 4A is now the top directory in our Fat Cow account. So from 4A, the other thing you'll need, apart from the template we just unzipped, is a database. So you go under your MySQL database, and we're going to make a new one, and we'll call this 4A, and the username, let's go with let's see, Dr. Who, and his password, oh, you can't see it. I'm going to change it as soon as the video's over. So password is trends door. Can't remember how I just typed that. Let's not use any funky characters. We all know from playing video games, you change your vowels into numbers. We'll just say Trenzador. Trenzador. Alright. Remember all that. Mainly database logins must be 2 to 16 characters in length. Lowercase letters, numbers, and underscores. Database logins. 1 numeric character. Why did it not like it? It's probably the password. Doctor Who, Trenzador. Yeah, let's change it. Let's go back and put the funky numbers in. Again. Okay. Database name, 4A's should be okay. Username, Doctor Who, should be okay. Capital T R 3 N 3 Z at DOR 3. Can you remember your crazy numbers? Okay. Capital T R 3 N Z at DOR 3. Passwords do not match. Might edit some of this out. One more try here. Passwords do not match. It's the only thing it didn't like. Getting crazy with the password names, and it's not liking them. Caps lock may have made a difference. 4A's. Doctor. I'm gonna get it. Doctor Who. Okay. Capital T R 3 N Z at D O R 3. Capital T R 3 N Z at D O R 3. Database 4A created. Third time's the charm. Alright. Lesson number 1, don't give up. Now we got to remember that. Very critical point. If you're writing code, you should be familiar with having an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. I don't really care if you're using Aptana Studio, but I happen to like it. I hear you can also use Notepad, which I would imagine could be as frustrating as all get out, but it seems to work for some people, some folks. It's loading. Can I pull it over here? Nope, not yet. Okay, so we've unzipped it, we renamed it. Let's try pointing to it next. When I talk about renaming, what I really want to get down to is did I not put it? Yeah, configure database. We can go ahead and do the point, but I want to configure the database just because of the crazy name. I don't want to forget that. Okay, looks like we're open. Let's bring it over on the screen. Is it way too big? Yeah, let's fit to screen. Okay. So we'll go into this folder and look at our connections on FatCal. There's the 4A at the top. Now, this is what we want to learn about. It's the template. This is all the stuff we just unzipped, right? AAA. And there's a lot of stuff in AAA. There's an application, a web app. There's Bonfire, which is what we're using. There's public. This is a index. Probably our web page. Another great thing about using the same template, it's easy to go from one project to another, and everything's kind of the same. Themes, we'll try and end up there. That's where you can make it look prettier. Nope, this is the wrong index, and we don't really need that right now. Let's try, I know where it's at. It's under the views, the home view. There it is, index PHP. And the more you play with it, the more you'll learn it. So this would be the code for our home page, but it's not going to show yet. The other thing we need, apart from the home view, not really ready for that yet. On our outline, what we said we were going to do was go in here to configure the database. We're also going to come back to configure, 2 files up in a little bit. This is line, what is it? These top 4 lines here. I'll show you where to get the localhost. That's where most people did it on the examples I was learning from, was localhost. There's AMP storage. So username, this is our Doctor Who. Okay, you couldn't see the characters, they were phased out on the other one where we made the database, so it's capital T R 3 N D at Z O R 3. Phonetically that's sounding familiar. And the database is our 4A's. And localhost. I'll show you where to get that. The database that we just created. Getting too many windows deep, I think. No, not yet. Is that it? Might as well see the background. This is when the ice bucket challenge was going on, so if Stephen Hawking had taken it. Maybe I closed the other window. Let's try this one. It's got some of the same information. It's probably good on the RAM, and we don't need a Facebook message yet. So whoever this one is can wait. So pointers will come under domain central, and what are we saying, turtlewolf.info. We'll just use my home site. I use that a lot for if I do take you on as a client. That's where I'll send you to see what I'm working on, and often it's just updates. Yeah, like if I'm working on, this is my cousin's motocross site, if I'm working on that, updating it, then what's here points to there. Or this has like what will eventually go there. So pointers right here. It's no longer going to be here. I'll just show you for argument's sake. This is what's there now. TurtleWolf info. Maybe take this full screen. This is the motocross site. This is what the template could end up looking like if we have time to get through all the CSS. And I think that'll be pushing our schedule. The original video should only have about 3 minutes left, but I think we can get through the basics in 3 minutes still. So instead of TurtleWolf info, we're going to point this to our 4A folder and save that. And did we save our work in the ID? I don't believe I did. Yeah, star means we're not saved. So back to mouse. Oh, I was going to show you where to get this. There's that other window I lost a while ago. It's right here. Server name. I might want to blur this out actually for security's sake, but as long as you know where I'm getting it from, it's not critical to every hacker on the internet what it says. But it's right here on your MySQL version, server name, database is available, unlimited, used, 9. It's right there, server name. You can copy and paste that out. And we'll paste that right in here. Bam. The star, we'll right click and save. The star means we're updated. If it fails, it does that sometimes. Just a little enter. Backspace, that means we've done changes. We get our star back, that means it's unsaved. Okay, it took it this time. So, we've changed our database settings, and we've repointed the pointer. And that really should be all we need to get our template up and running. A little refresh here. Unable to connect to your database server using the provided settings. Let's try another refresh. Provided settings. May have the password that was so crazy. May have gotten that wrong. So I'm probably reshooting the video. So if we can bug this out real quick. Tren. Yep. Zador. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you would know that Trenzador is his home planet. So Z at D-O-R-E. Yep. The best videos have lots of honest mistakes. You see where the real friction's at and what some debugging might look like. Alright, Let's try it again. TurtleWolf.info. Man. Again, I think I know the prop. Nope. Transador. Yep. There we go. Okay. So, we're installed. Next is change this as quickly as possible, because there's a brief moment in time here you are exposed to the world. We're up. We are live. Welcome to the Bonfire template. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is go to the admin area. And this is our web app. We'll do a little F11 maybe. Get full screen. This page intentionally left blank. As of Bonfire 7.1 development, this page has no default content. This is your playground. Make it your home. So this is your web app. As an admin, you can go to the empty content menu, you can go to the reports, you can go to settings, you can go to developer data. This is what I really started looking at for the very first time. Let me stop this timer. I wanted to keep this video to 25-minute Pomodoro and went over, but that's fine. I think we're doing great. I really wanted to do backups the first time and had a little bit of trouble with that in 6. And had no idea I was unlocking all this other potential. But had trouble with the backups then, found everything else, and are still loving the backups today. But the first thing you want to change, and I feel like I've taken too long already, you never know what bots are out there working against you, is get underneath the users. There should just be one, the admin that just installed this, at FatCal, which is me. So I'm going to go ahead, you don't want to email yourself or whoever this person would have been. If you don't want to go to turtlewolf.info, like I say, sometimes I'm changing that to experiment with different things. You can find me at John Polner at Gmail, love the goog, gmail.com, display name, we are Dr. Probably periods are a bad idea. I think that's a setting you can change, but probably by default periods are bad. Spaces may not be. We'll try one. We'll do a kind of standard. You can't see it anyways. Don't think you can read my keyboard like an old-fashioned phone. On the touch phones, you could read the beeps. Doesn't matter if you know what time zone I'm in. It seems to help more than it hurts sometimes. Alright, and it'll kick us out because we just changed the sign-in information, which is good. That's what we want it to do. Sure. So now who we just make was Doctor. Is this the one with or without the space? Incorrect. Let's try space. And if this is wrong, I'll show you why I used my own email. Because we can actually do a forgot password. But I shouldn't have forgot this. Oh, yeah, that's why you can't use your username, or you gotta use your email for this. That's why it didn't work. Again, that's a setting you can change with the template. If you want to let people use their username, they can sign in with that. But Doctor Who won't work for this until the default settings are changed, which we would have had to do before we changed the user, which is alright with me. I like making people use their email. But again, if people do forget their password, all that's set up in the template. Again, saves you hundreds of hours. If I had to take time to start coding in a way for users that forget their email as soon as they sign in, I'd have to charge you a lot more. So for $100 I can get people a basic website up and off the ground. Yeah, we're well over time for the first video, but I'll show you something else here real quick where it says my Bonfire. Not everybody wants that for their web page, so we just made this one is a turtle. Wolf.info. .coms are hard to get anymore. This default email that system generated emails are sent from, so it's probably best to give them a real one, just in case somebody out there's trying to deal with you. Save those settings, and you're changing the template when you do that. So now if I go back to here, let's take this off full screen so you can see the URL. Right there it says index. A lot of people get annoyed with that. If I go to the admin area, it's index.php admin content. The easy way, the right way, the good practiced way is to go back into your IDE, and I didn't want to change that. Let's just not save the changes. I think it's already up and running. That should be safe. So if you want to change your home page, that welcome to the Bonfire kickstart, yeah, I'll just show this. Welcome to Bonfire, the template. No, we're not selling the template anymore. We're selling turtlewolf.info. Our little start didn't take. So again, we can do an enter and a backspace, and Control S, and now we should have just changed our template where it used to say welcome to Bonfire, turtlewolf.info. So we're changing the template already. This said Bonfire, this said welcome to Bonfire. Probably don't want them going to the browse the docs. So again, we go right back into the IDE. New tablet, I need to stay off that. Let's try just Control Z for an undo. Here we go. Let's try making this screen size so we can see what we're doing better. So we don't want browse the docs. It's this anchor tag right here in the template with a couple of line breaks in front of it. We'll just cut that out. Do another save. Alt tab back to our web page. It's because we haven't refreshed. You can hit F5, and what we just deleted from the template is gone. So you can see where live coding changes to a live active site. And the thing I was going to show you is this index right here, what they call making your URLs pretty. It's part of the template too, so we can lose the index for now. We'll save a lot of those changes for the next video. Way over time already. Configuring Everything we did so far was the index and the database. We're just going to go up 2 files to application configure, and it's around, it's not the base URL. Right now in version 7 it's around line 29. We're just going to change the index PHP to nothing really. We're just going to quote, air quotes, and save that. I think that's going to wrap up our video. We'll just refresh this where everything's been saying index. It's still there. Let's go into admin. There, it just disappeared. Go into the activities, the core users. So I've used one activity. I've logged one activity in the core. I've logged 3 activities as a user. That user is Doctor Who, with a total of 4 altogether. So there's just so much power in this template unlocked already. We've got an email queue. We can make up some keyboard shortcuts and access those up here. Hey, look, because I used my my email, it's picking up my gravatar. A little energy equals mc squared, or energy is equal to the mass times the square speed of light. So put a little effort into it, and you'll get something solid back out of it. I think that's plenty to cover for a little opening tutorial. And yeah, enjoy. It's not quite a full $100 worth yet, but for a half hour, get a live website, not have to do it from scratch. Bonfire is a pretty powerful tool. So until next time. Awesome theme music here. Bump, 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 bump.